The massive ship appeared without warning, sliding out of hyperspace like a knife cutting through dark fabric. It positioned itself just beyond the moon's orbit, its metallic surface reflecting Earth's blue glow. The vessel was larger than anything humans had ever built, stretching nearly 5 kilometers from end to end. Earth's military bases went into immediate high alert. Air Force pilots scrambled to their fighters, while space defense stations powered up their systems. Admiral James stood in the United Earth Defense Command Center, his eyes fixed on the massive display showing the alien vessel. "Sir, they're broadcasting on all frequencies," reported Lieutenant Mike from his console. "The message is in perfect English." The Admiral nodded slowly. "That's our first red flag. They shouldn't know our languages this well. Put them through." The screen flickered to life, showing a tall, humanoid figure wearing elaborate robes decorated with what looked like military medals. "People of Earth," the alien spoke, his accent perfect. "I am Lord Marcus of the Galactic Empire. We come in peace, bringing an invitation to join our grand civilization." Admiral James noticed something odd about the aliens' movements. They were too smooth, too practiced, as if he had rehearsed this moment hundreds of times. Within hours, the United Earth Council gathered in Geneva. Representatives from every nation sat in the Grand Chamber as Lord Marcus presented the Empire's offer. "We will uplift your civilization," he promised. "Share our technology, our knowledge, our resources. All we ask is your peaceful integration into the Empire." But Dr. Linda, Earth's leading xenolinguist, wasn't convinced. During a brief recess, she approached Admiral James with worried eyes. "Their knowledge of our cultures and languages is too perfect," she whispered. "This isn't first contact. They've been watching us." Her suspicions proved correct when the security team discovered tiny quantum surveillance devices hidden throughout the council building. The devices were so advanced they were nearly undetectable, but Earth's recently developed quantum sensors had picked up their unique signature. Admiral James ordered a discreet scan of other major cities. The results were shocking. Surveillance devices were everywhere, some showing signs of being in place for decades. During the third day of negotiations, Lord Marcus presented the Empire's membership terms. The document was thick with diplomatic language, but Earth's lawyers quickly spotted the traps. Hidden in the complex wording were clauses that would give the Empire complete control over Earth's resources, military, and even its education system. "These terms are quite standard," Lord Marcus said smoothly when questioned. "Every species in the Empire has agreed to them. Surely Earth doesn't want to be difficult." The threat in his voice was subtle but clear. That evening, in a secure underground facility, Admiral James met with the Council's inner circle. "They'd been studying us like scientists study lab rats," he said, spreading out the surveillance data. "They know our strengths, our weaknesses, our division points. They expect us to either fight among ourselves or submit." Council President Thomas leaned forward. "Then let's show them something they didn't expect." He pressed a button, activating a holographic display of Earth's hidden defense systems, technology that had been kept off all networks and official records. "For the past 20 years, he explained, "we've been quietly preparing for this possibility. Our quantum shields and gravity weapons are more advanced than anything they've shown us. They think they're dealing with a primitive species, but humanity has a few surprises." Admiral James smiled for the first time in days. "They've studied how we fight wars and handle conflicts, but they've missed something crucial about humans. We're at our best when we face a common threat." As the alien ship hung in orbit, waiting for Earth's submission, the planet's leaders made their decision. They would not bow to implied threats or accept hidden chains. Humanity had fought too long for its freedom to give it up to an empire of wolves in diplomatic clothing. The next morning, when Lord Marcus arrived for the final negotiations, he found something unexpected: a united Earth, ready to bare its teeth. Captain Anna sat in her stealth ship at the edge of the solar system, watching the readings from her quantum sensors with growing horror. The refugee ship she'd been tracking was badly damaged, its hull marked with weapon burns. Inside, her sensors detected 300 alien life forms crammed into space meant for 50. "Central Command, are you seeing this?" she whispered into her comm. This was the third refugee ship they'd found hiding in the Kuiper Belt this week. "We see it, Captain," Admiral James replied. "Bring them in quietly. Use the dark side of Mars approach." Back on Earth, intelligence agencies worked around the clock. Teams of analysts dug through data stolen from Empire databases by Earth's most skilled hackers. The picture they pieced together was disturbing. "Look at this pattern," Professor Thomas said, pointing to a holographic display showing hundreds of worlds. "Every planet the Empire peacefully integrates follows the same cycle. First, they establish military bases for protection. Then they begin modernizing the planet's industries. Within 10 years, the planet's resources are drained, its culture erased, its people nothing more than workers for the Empire." The refugee ships brought more proof. The aliens from these ships, though different species, all told similar stories. The Empire had promised them prosperity and protection. Instead, they got slavery and destruction. One refugee, a tall being with crystalline skin who called himself Blue, shared recordings from his homeworld. The images showed Empire ships stripping entire continents of resources, leaving behind dead wastelands. "They call it efficient resource management," Blue said bitterly. "They did this to 1,000 worlds before mine." Earth's leaders watched these recordings in silence. The Empire's true face was becoming clear, not just conquerors, but parasites who consumed entire worlds. Captain Anna led a secret mission to one of these dead worlds. Her ship slipped past Empire patrols, using Earth's new stealth technology. What she found confirmed their worst fears. The planet was a husk, its surface scarred by massive mining operations. The only inhabitants were Empire mining robots, still searching for any remaining resources. "The Empire's peaceful integration is a lie," she reported back. "They don't want partners. They want food for their war machine." While Earth's diplomats kept the Empire representatives busy with endless negotiations, humanity prepared. Hidden factories worked day and night, building weapons and ships unlike anything the Empire had seen. Earth's scientists had taken a different path than the Empire's brute force technology. While the Empire relied on massive energy weapons, Earth had developed precise quantum weapons that could disable ships without destroying them. The refugees proved eager to help. They shared their knowledge of Empire technology and tactics. Many had been engineers and scientists on their homeworlds. Working together with human scientists, they found ways to improve Earth's defenses even further. Admiral James stood in the Lunar Command Center, watching the latest refugee ship dock safely in a hidden bay. "The Empire thinks they're dealing with simple primitives," he said to his staff. "They don't realize we've learned from every species they've destroyed. We've built our defenses using knowledge from 100 worlds." On Earth's surface, life continued normally. People went to work, children played in parks, and cities buzzed with activity. But underneath this peaceful surface, humanity was like a coiled spring. Military bases hidden in mountains and under oceans were fully staffed. Quantum shield generators waited silently in every major city. Earth's orbital defense platforms looked like simple communication satellites to Empire scans. "We're ready," Captain Anna reported to the Defense Council. "The refugee evacuation routes are prepared. Our stealth ships can get them to safe zones if the Empire attacks." The Empire's massive ship still hung in orbit, its presence a constant reminder of the threat. But with each passing day, Earth's position grew stronger. The Empire had revealed its true nature, and humanity would not become another victim in its long history of conquest. The time for pretending was almost over. Earth was preparing to show the Empire that some worlds would not be so easy to devour. Lord Marcus stood before the United Earth Council, his perfect smile now showing signs of strain. "The Empire simply wishes to establish peaceful military bases on Mars," he said. Surely this small request shows our good faith. The council members kept their faces neutral, but they all knew this was the moment they had prepared for. This was how the Empire always started. A small military presence that would grow into an invasion force. We appreciate the Empire's offer, Council President Thomas replied calmly. However, Mars and all other bodies in the Sol system are under Earth's protection. No foreign military bases will be permitted. Lord Marcus's smile vanished. The Empire's protection is not optional, he said coldly. A small fleet is already on its way to Mars. This is a courtesy notification, not a request. The council chamber grew silent. Then Admiral James stepped forward, activating a holographic display in the center of the room. Actually, he said, we have a courtesy notification of our own. The display showed 10 Empire scout ships dropping out of hyperspace near Mars. They were sleek, powerful vessels, each carrying enough firepower to level a city. Lord Marcus watched with satisfaction as they moved into formation. Then something unexpected happened. Hidden quantum satellites around Mars activated. Rings of blue energy sprang up around the Empire ships, trapping them in containment fields. The mighty vessels suddenly hung helpless in space, unable to move or fire their weapons. Impossible, Lord Marcus shouted, his diplomatic mask cracking completely. Your species doesn't have this level of technology. Professor Mark stepped forward, his lab coat contrasting with the formal suits around him. We chose a different path than the Empire, he explained. While you focused on weapons of destruction, we developed quantum technology. Your ships are now held in zero-energy fields. They can't move, but their crews are perfectly safe. As if to demonstrate, one of the containment fields gently pushed its captured ship back toward Empire space. The other ships followed, like leaves carried on a stream. This is your only warning, Admiral James said firmly. The Sol system is off-limits to Empire military forces. We will defend our space. Lord Marcus's face had turned an interesting shade of purple. You primitives dare to threaten the Empire. Our main fleet will reduce your world to ash. No, Council President Thomas said quietly. They won't. He pressed a button, and the holographic display changed to show Earth's orbital defenses dropping their camouflage. Thousands of satellites revealed their true forms as defense platforms. The moon's surface rippled as hidden bases emerged. Even the asteroid belt came alive with defensive installations. We've had decades to prepare, Admiral James explained. Every time you thought you were secretly studying us, we were learning about you. Every piece of Empire technology you tried to hide on Earth was found, studied, and improved upon. On his command ship, now being gently but firmly pushed out of the solar system, Lord Marcus received an urgent message. The Empire's spy devices across Earth were going silent, each one detected and neutralized by quantum scanners. The Empire's perfect first contact plan had failed. For the first time in centuries, they faced a species that had seen through their deception and prepared accordingly. This is humanity's formal response, Council President Thomas announced. Earth and the entire Sol system are hereby declared off-limits to the Galactic Empire. Any military vessels entering our space will be captured and returned. Any attempt at aggression will be met with appropriate force. As the last Empire scout ship was escorted out of Earth's solar system, Admiral James turned to the refugee representatives watching from a secure room. Tell your people, he said, Earth is now a sanctuary. We will not bow to the Empire, and we will protect those who seek freedom. The news spread quickly through hidden refugee channels. For the first time since the Empire began its expansion, a world had not just resisted, it had pushed back. The Empire's aura of invincibility was broken. In his ship, Lord Marcus sent a rage-filled message to the Empire's Central Command. He demanded an immediate full-scale invasion of the Sol system. The Empire would not tolerate such defiance. He didn't realize that his anger was exactly what Earth had planned for. The real battle was about to begin. Commander Jack watched from the moon base as Earth's quantum sensors detected 50 Empire warships emerging from hyperspace. The massive vessels formed a battle line between Earth and Mars, their weapons charging. "They really don't learn, do they?" he said to his crew. "Start the defense grid. Remember, no casualties if we can avoid it." The Empire's command ship broadcast its message across all channels. "Primitive humans," a new Empire admiral growled, "you have 1 hour to surrender and accept our rule. If you refuse, we will destroy your civilization." In Geneva, the Earth Council didn't even need to meet. Their response was immediate and had been prepared long ago. Admiral James sent it himself. "The Sol system is closed to Empire forces. Leave now." The Empire ships launched their first attack. Massive energy beams shot toward Earth, powerful enough to crack the planet's crust. But they never reached their target. The beams hit Earth's quantum shields and simply disappeared, converted into harmless light that made the sky glow in beautiful colors. "Impossible," the Empire Admiral shouted. "No shield can stop our main guns." Professor Mark's voice came over the comm system. "Your weapons use energy," he explained calmly. "Our quantum shields don't block energy. They'd redirect it. Right now, your attack is powering Earth's cities. Thank you for the free electricity." The Empire fleet launched their fighter ships next, thousands of them, filling space like angry wasps. Earth's response shocked them again. Instead of fighters, small spherical drones emerged from hidden bases across the solar system. Each drone created quantum fields that gently caught Empire fighters and shut down their systems. "As we said," Commander Jack broadcast, "the Sol system is closed. Your pilots are safe but powerless. We'll return them to you shortly." The Empire Admiral was furious. He ordered his capital ships to advance, expecting Earth's defenses to break under their combined firepower. Instead, something even stranger happened. The asteroids around the Empire fleet started to move. Hidden engines activated, revealing that many of Earth's defensive installations weren't satellites at all. They were hollowed-out asteroids, turned into mobile fortresses. They surrounded the Empire fleet, quantum cannons ready. "This is your final warning," Admiral James announced. "Leave Earth space, or we will be forced to remove you." The Empire Admiral laughed. "You think these tricks will save you? The Empire has conquered 1,000 worlds. We cannot be defeated by primitives." Commander Jack sighed and pressed a button. "Then I'm sorry about this." Quantum beams fired from the asteroid fortresses, precisely striking each Empire ship's engine systems. The mighty vessels went dark, their power plants safely shut down by Earth's technology. Emergency systems kept life support running, but nothing else worked. As the Empire crews watched in shock, their helpless ships were gently pushed into formation by quantum fields. Like a shepherd guiding sheep, Earth's asteroid fortresses began escorting them out of the solar system. "We're sending you home," Admiral James explained to the stunned Empire forces. "Your crews are safe. Your ships will regain power once you're beyond Pluto's orbit. And you can tell your leaders this: Earth isn't interested in war, but we will not be conquered." In the days that followed, news of the Empire's defeat spread across the galaxy. The refugee channels buzzed with excitement. Security camera footage from the Empire ships leaked, showing how easily Earth's defenses had handled the attack. Other species watched in amazement as the mighty Empire fleet was led away like misbehaving children. On Earth, life continued normally. The quantum shields had turned the Empire's attack into a beautiful light show, and many people had watched it like fireworks. The defense had been so complete that not a single human life was lost. "This is just the beginning," Admiral James told the Council. "The Empire won't accept this defeat. They'll be back with everything they have." Council President Thomas nodded. "And we'll be ready. But more importantly, now other worlds know the Empire can be resisted. We're not just defending Earth anymore. We're giving hope to every species that wants to be free." The quantum sensors were already detecting more refugee ships approaching Earth, carrying beings who had heard about the Empire's defeat. The Sol system was becoming a beacon of hope in a galaxy that desperately needed one. Dr. Helen stared at her quantum communication screen with growing excitement. Signals were coming in from across the galaxy. After Earth's defeat of the Empire fleet, something unexpected was happening. Other worlds were reaching out. "We're getting messages from at least 30 different species," she told Admiral James. "Most of them have been under Empire control for centuries. They want to know how we resisted." The messages came in many forms. Some were simple text, others were complex codes hidden in normal Empire communications. All carried the same message. Earth had given them hope. In the refugee settlement on Mars, Blue, the crystalline alien, worked with human scientists to improve the quantum communication network. "My people had similar technology once," he explained, "but the Empire destroyed it. They don't like worlds talking to each other freely." That's when Dr. Helen had her breakthrough. Using Blue's knowledge and Earth's quantum technology, she created something new. A communication system the Empire couldn't detect or block. Within days, hidden receivers were being smuggled to other worlds. On a mining planet far from Earth, enslaved workers received the first broadcast. They watched in amazement as Dr. Helen explained Earth's defensive systems. More importantly, she shared plans for simple quantum devices that could disrupt Empire control systems. "We're not just sharing technology," she told the Council. "We're sharing hope. Every world that sees our broadcasts learns that resistance is possible." The Empire began noticing problems across their territory. On a farming world, their automated harvesting machines stopped working. On a manufacturing planet, their factories began producing defective parts. Small acts of rebellion were spreading like a virus through their systems. Admiral James watched the reports with satisfaction. "The Empire's greatest weakness," he explained to his staff, "is that they think every problem needs a military solution. They don't understand that the smallest acts of defiance can cause the biggest problems." The Empire tried to crack down, sending more troops to troubled worlds. But they couldn't be everywhere at once. When they strengthened their grip on one world, 3 more would start showing signs of rebellion. Captain Anna's stealth ships now had a new mission. They slipped through Empire space, delivering quantum communication devices to resistance groups. Each new world that joined the hidden network became another crack in the Empire's foundation. On a distant Empire colony world, the governor watched with growing fear as his control systems failed one by one. Reports came in of workers sabotaging Empire equipment. When he called for help, the Empire ships in orbit didn't respond. Their communications had been quietly shut down by quantum devices. The Empire is facing something they've never dealt with before. Council President Thomas told Earth's leaders. They know how to crush military rebellions, but how do they fight an idea? How do they stop people from hoping? Back on Earth, refugee ships arrived daily, bringing more allies and more knowledge. Each species had different skills, different technologies, different ways of thinking. Working together, they began creating new solutions that neither humans nor aliens could have developed alone. Professor Mark's laboratory became a meeting point for scientists from 20 different worlds. "The Empire forced uniformity," he said, watching teams of humans and aliens working together. "They never understood that real strength comes from diversity." The Empire's leaders were furious. Their reports showed unrest spreading across their territory. Even their most loyal worlds were showing signs of rebellion. Worse, they couldn't find the source of the problem. Earth's quantum technology left no traces for them to track. "The Empire is starting to panic," Admiral James told the Council. "They're used to being in control. Now, for the first time in centuries, they're losing their grip." Dr. Helen's quantum network continued to grow. Messages of support and cooperation flowed between worlds that had been isolated for generations. The Empire had kept their subjects divided and weak. Now, Earth was helping them unite. "We're not just fighting the Empire anymore. Blue told his human friends as they watched another refugee ship land safely on Mars. We're building something new, something better. The Empire's perfect order was crumbling, replaced by something they feared more than any military defeat: freedom. The Empire's supreme commander stood before the Imperial Council, his face dark with rage. "Earth has gone too far," he growled. "They've infected our worlds with rebellion. We must crush them completely." Across Empire space, thousands of warships gathered. The Empire was mobilizing its entire fleet for the first time in 500 years. They would make an example of Earth. Director Robert watched the massive fleets approach through Earth's quantum sensors. "We're counting over 5,000 ships," he reported to the Earth Council. "This is everything they have." Admiral James nodded calmly. "Then this is our chance to end their tyranny once and for all." Earth had prepared for this moment. Hidden shipyards around Jupiter revealed their secrets. Humanity had not been idle. Hundreds of defensive platforms emerged from the gas giant's storms. The asteroid belt came alive with weapons platforms and quantum generators. "All refugees have been moved to the underground cities," Captain Anna reported. "Mars base and Moon base are secure. Earth's population centers are under maximum shield protection." The Empire fleet emerged from hyperspace all at once, filling the space between Mars and Jupiter. Their ships blocked out the stars, creating an artificial night. Leading them was a vessel larger than any previously seen, the Empire's legendary planet killer. "Primitive humans," the Supreme Commander's voice boomed across all channels. "Your defiance ends today. Surrender now, or we will destroy not just your civilization, but your entire solar system." Director Robert smiled and pressed a button. "Actually, we've been expecting you." Earth's defense grid activated, but this time it was different. The quantum technology had evolved. Instead of individual shields and weapons, the entire solar system lit up with interconnected quantum fields. Every asteroid, every satellite, every defensive platform became part of a single, massive defense system. "What you see," Director Robert explained, "is the result of cooperation between 20 different species. Your former slaves helped us build this." The Empire fleet opened fire. Thousands of energy weapons fired at once, enough firepower to crack a planet. But the quantum fields caught every blast, channeling the energy through the defense grid. Earth's cities glowed with free power. The Supreme Commander ordered his ships to advance. That's when the human AI defense systems revealed themselves. Quantum computers predicted every Empire move, responding faster than any living pilot could react. Empire ships found their weapons turning against them, their shields failing, their engines shutting down. But Earth's defenders didn't destroy them. Instead, quantum fields gently caught each disabled ship, protecting their crews while neutralizing their ability to fight. "You still don't understand, do you?" Admiral James broadcast to the Empire fleet. "We don't want to destroy you. We just want you to stop destroying others." The Supreme Commander responded by launching his ultimate weapon. The planet killer's main gun fired, its beam capable of shattering worlds. Earth's quantum grid caught the blast and channeled it back, not as a weapon, but as pure energy that lit up the solar system in a beautiful aurora. That's when the Empire crews began to rebel. Thousands of their ships, filled with people who had seen Earth's broadcasts, turned against their commanders. The Supreme Commander watched in horror as half his fleet powered down their weapons. "We won't fight for tyranny anymore," one Empire captain announced, his ship turning to join Earth's defenders. Others followed, forming a new line of defense facing their former masters. The Supreme Commander screamed orders, but fewer and fewer ships listened. The Empire's perfect control was breaking. Their own people were choosing freedom. Director Robert watched from Earth Command as more Empire ships switched sides. "Humanity's greatest weapon," he said softly, "was never our technology. It was our ability to show others a better way." The battle ended not with destruction, but with choice. 3/4 of the Empire fleet had joined Earth's side. The remaining ships, including the Supreme Commander's vessel, found themselves surrounded. "The Empire's reign of terror ends today," Admiral James announced to the assembled ships. "Not through violence, but through the power of choice. Every being deserves freedom. Every world deserves peace." As the sun rose over Earth, its light shone on a new dawn for the galaxy. The Empire's greatest fleet had come to destroy humanity, and instead found liberation. 1 year after the great battle in Earth's solar system, the galaxy looked very different. The massive conference hall on Mars buzzed with activity as representatives from over 200 worlds gathered for the first meeting of the Galactic Federation of Free Worlds. Admiral James, now older but still standing tall, watched the delegates arrive. Former Empire worlds sat next to the planets they had once oppressed. Refugee species returned to rebuild their homelands. And at the center of it all was Earth, the world that had shown them all a different path. "The last Empire stronghold surrendered yesterday," Captain Anna reported, joining him at the observation window. Their Supreme Commander finally admitted defeat. The Empire that lasted 1,000 years ended not with a final battle, but with a quiet surrender. In the conference hall below, Blue stood at the speaking platform. His crystalline form sparkled as he addressed the gathered species. "One Earth year ago, humanity showed us that resistance was possible. Today, we show the galaxy that cooperation is the path forward." Earth had changed too. The quantum technology that defended the solar system now powered a new age of exploration and trade. Ships from 100 worlds moved freely through space, sharing knowledge and resources. The Empire's old trade routes became highways of free commerce. Director Robert led the Combined Scientific Council, where humans worked alongside aliens to solve problems that had plagued their worlds for generations. The Empire forced each world to develop alone. He explained to a group of young scientists, "Together, we're achieving things they never dreamed possible." On a distant world that had once been stripped bare by Empire mining, new life grew. Earth's environmental restoration teams worked with local species, using combined knowledge to heal their planet. Where the Empire had left wasteland, forests began to grow again. Professor Mark stood in his laboratory, now expanded to cover most of Moon Base, watching teams of mixed species work on new projects. The Empire's greatest mistake, he told his students, was thinking that strength came from control. Real power comes from working together. The refugee camps on Mars had become thriving cities where different species lived and worked together. Children from 100 worlds played in parks under the dome, learning each other's languages and customs. The fear and distrust the Empire had bred for centuries melted away as people learned to know each other. Dr. Helen's quantum communication network now spanned the galaxy. Instead of Empire propaganda, it carried messages of cooperation and shared knowledge. Worlds that had been isolated for generations could now talk freely, sharing their culture and wisdom. "We're tracking the last Empire loyalist ships," Commander Jack reported during the Security Council meeting. "But most of them are surrendering peacefully when they see how their old worlds have changed. It's hard to fight for tyranny when freedom works so much better." In orbit around Earth, the massive Empire ships that had once come to destroy humanity now served as museums and schools. Young beings from across the galaxy came to learn about the Empire's history and how Earth's resistance had changed everything. Council President Thomas addressed the final session of the Galactic Federation's first meeting. "Earth's message was simple," he said to the assembled delegates. "We showed that it was possible to stand up to tyranny. But you all proved something even more important, that unity and freedom are stronger than fear and control." As the sun set on Mars, casting red light through the dome of the Great Hall, the delegates signed the Federation Charter. Its first article, proposed by Earth, was simple: "All worlds have the right to freedom. No species shall dominate another." Admiral James stood at the window of his office in Moonbase, looking out at Earth glowing blue and peaceful in the darkness. A fleet of ships from 20 different worlds patrolled nearby, their crews working together to keep the peace. "Did you ever think it would end like this?" Captain Anna asked him. "Not an ending," he replied, smiling as he watched another refugee ship arrive safely in Earth orbit. This is just the beginning. We banned the Empire from Earth, but in doing so, we freed the galaxy. Now the real work begins, building a future where all species can thrive together. In the depths of space, Earth's quantum beacons shone like stars, guiding ships safely through the darkness. The Empire's shadow was gone, replaced by the light of freedom and cooperation. Humanity had not just saved itself, it had shown the galaxy a better way.